Yeah, so we have our little topics here. Lots of good fun.
Yeah, the world's providing a lot of
Yeah.
content.
If you want, honestly, because I'm actually interested in it. The car show today.
Oh, the car show I went to?
Yeah, the car show you went to.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I'm more interested in just
No,
specifically
so
that.
that's just regular car reviews. I don't know if you've seen it, but any of their videos.
I saw yours. You
Oh, you
showed
saw
me
the
yours. Yeah.
So obviously it's
Selfishly.
really, it's really like off the beaten path humor. Like
Yeah.
there's no getting around it. Mr. Regular's a weird guy, but that's part of the appeal.
appeal.
But as such, he attracts a very specific crowd. And while I don't claim to be the most hip, happening, cool guy there is, some of them are weird even for me. But yeah, it was just a regular car reviews car meet, and that was at the Greater Philadelphia Expo Center out in Oaks.
Oh.
They've got a convention going on right now, actually, that they're kind of piggybacking off of the Too Many Games. It's video game, video game convention. We saw some cosplayers, but
Oh.
yeah, and Geo won an award.
Yeah.
Yeah,
For.
being crashed into.
Yeah. And surviving. That should have been part
I mean,
of that.
it's definitely right up his alley. He loves like 90s stuff, so an early 90s Econo
Yeah.
shitbox that's not, I know it's regular car use, but not exactly regular. It's the most unregular regular car you're going to stumble across.
Yeah.
So he made a beeline as soon as I parked up, but talked to him a little bit, talked about how he drove my Buick and my Volvo.
So, but more to the car that won is.
Oh, yeah, 1990 Geo Storm.
Yeah.
Freshly rear-ended by some dumb lady
Yeah.
texting on her phone.
Yeah.
Gotta love it.
Yeah.
Don't text and drive.
Yeah. Don't do it.
But yep, I got that award. One of my friends who's like in that car club that I'm in had a late 80s Chevy Spectrum Turbo. He got most vaporwave. You have any idea what that is?
No.
It's that whole like 80s aesthetic, with those kinds of colors and
Oh.
the palm trees and the lo-fi, like video filter and lo-fi hip hop, chill lo-fi hip hop beats to study and fall asleep to.
That's what
Vaporwave.
That's what the car looks like.
No, it's a little square Chevy shitbox sedan, but it's got a turbocharger.
So
Factory.
it's just like, I don't understand the correlation.
It's from the era that Vaporwave is like based off of, that whole aesthetic,
Okay.
the late 80s.
Okay, gotcha. So it's kind of the it's in the genre of vehicles.
Oh,
that
absolutely.
that
It's the most
would come
regular,
from.
like, little... I mean, it's not regular. It's a... What is it based off of? It's an Isuzu iMark, which you have no idea what that is, do you?
Pull it up.
Yeah.
People at home, Google it.
Yeah, I'm just going to pull up his actual, like... Not the Isuzu, but the...
Shout out.
Oh, yeah, it's even that color.
Oh man,
Just a little shitbox.
dude.
The Isuzu
The trunk
iMark.
is so small.
Yep. Look
Look
at
that thing.
Three-wheeling.
Three-wheeling. Getting it.
So, yeah, he got most Vaporwave. I got most...
Bro, that's not a bad looking car for the 80s.
No, it's kind of tight.
Always my favorite
Actually-
thing.
There you go. The two award winners, side by side.
Oh hell yeah.
We'll throw that up on the screen or something.
Yeah. Throw that up. Shout out to your friend with this car,
Oh yeah, Xavier.
Xavier. Shout out to Xavier. Award winning.
But,
A Zuzu Spectrum Turbo.
Yeah,
Beautiful
there's
car.
all kinds of interesting and not interesting cars.
Yeah.
A couple of Toyota Corolla hatchbacks. There was an award for I brought a rental car to the car show, and it was
No
a bone
way.
stock like Toyota Corolla S.
Is there a history behind why they have a rental car?
Oh, I don't even think it was actually a rental car. I think it was his, but like.
Oh shit!
Well,
but
you
it's-
remember when
but
my
it's-
van was being worked on? What did I have as a rental car? I had a Toyota Corolla.
I know, dude. I know. That's like one of the things that like actually kind of sucks about like the whole rental car thing. I mean, there's a few like you can get high end rental
Yeah,
cars,
you
but like the
can. Well,
most of them.
you had that Mustang.
Yeah, but then these like sad people like who just want to get a car and like don't know any better, who like buy those cars and then
They're
they're
happy
like,
with it. I don't care about
they're
it.
like, hey, is it a rental? Like, what happened to your car? And they're like, no, I bought that.
this.
I chose this car.
This was the fit for
that
me.
that also Enterprise rental car also chose.
I mean, Enterprise picks them for a reason. They're cheap and they're reliable.
Yeah, no, exactly. I think that those people probably don't even look at it that way.
No,
honestly.
it's an appliance.
Yeah.
They just need a car that they can afford.
Yeah.
That's comfortable. Goes from
Yeah.
A to B.
Yeah, and I think even if you called it on them, they would be like, yeah, so you can also rent one of these. Like,
You
so
ask them what it is, they
They're
wouldn't
like,
even know.
Yeah,
It's like, I bought a car.
Like, I think it's a Toyota.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, is it
Four
S
doors.
model, an
They're like-
XRS,
Yeah.
a GR?
Yeah, they're like power windows. CarPlay is in it.
Oh, yeah, it's got a
know.
touchscreen.
Yeah, yeah. I don't even think Corollas come up to that yet in a base model.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Mine had touchscreen.
No fucking
My rental
way.
Corolla.
It is pretty insane.
That thing made me drive aggressive.
Yeah.
I don't know,
Dude.
small dog syndrome or Napoleon complex. I don't know what it was, or just the fact that it fit through traffic. But it made me drive much more aggressive than I drive my van.
Yeah, dude. There's definitely something to, especially the cars nowadays that have so much horsepower, where it's like it's honestly it's like.
Oh yeah, I mean, you get a base model car with less than like 120 horsepower. It's unacceptable.
Yeah. So like that coupled with like just how well they're making cars nowadays, especially like in the realm of Toyota and Civics, they do kind of turn into this like little sporty thing. And then now, I think they are probably getting better. I don't know, maybe you can let me know, but how the steering is.
I mean,
Because it's all electronic.
It's gotten better from like the first generation electronic steering. The first
But
car.
what we're referring to is like the feedback.
Yeah, no, that's
air quote
non-existent.
road
still.
feel.
That's non-existent. Now
Yeah.
the GR probably they put effort into that, but like for
Yeah.
the basic car, like
Which is
the average
sweet.
person wants the opposite. Road feel is just vibrations from the road making its way through the steering wheel, so you can tell what the front wheels are doing. But it's all about reducing NVH, noise,
Yeah.
vibration, harshness, and making it quiet. So road feel is like the
It's-
opposite of what they're striving for.
I think exactly. And
you
I think
want
it's-
a numb,
Yeah.
isolating box.
Yeah, not even like, I mean, I get what you're saying with the vibration where you literally can feel the road, but I think also just like having a heavy steering wheel. Where it's
Well, you
like,
can
it's
have
just-
road feel with not super heavy steering, but
That's what I'm saying. So like, I feel like when it comes to like something sporty, like when I'm in
You
something,
want some weight.
yeah, like I know that I'm in something sporty when it's like it's got a little weight to it.
Yeah, I
you
mean that's
know?
not always a tell. The
It's
Cavalier
it's
had a heavy steering.
Yeah, no, you're right. But that's also another car that was like kind of unexpectedly
It was
a
better
little
than
faster
expected.
and zippier than like you would have expected. And the Spectrum Turbo, I feel like, does it fit into that category where it's a surprising thing to drive, or is it
No, it's exactly
disappointing?
what you expect.
Oh,
Even with the
fuck.
turbo,
Sorry,
the
Xavier.
turbo. No, this is his words. It's you're the only one who knows you have a turbo. He's like, you can hear some turbo noises, and they put the boost gauge in inches of mercury instead of PSI, so it reads a bigger number.
No.
So he's like, oh yeah, you're
way.
pulling like 20 inches of mercury.
Yeah.
Yeah,
dude,
versus
and,
like
and dude, in
the
19
5 psi that it was
Yeah.
actually making.
Yeah, so in 1980, they didn't have Google. Like today, if
Yeah.
if they try to pull
Yeah,
something
you
like
see
that,
gauge go up,
they're
and you're like, woo.
yeah, you could still be in traffic.
That's
and
one
be
bad Larry
Googling-
right there.
But you could be Googling, all right, inches of mercury versus PSI.
PSI.
And you're like, what the hell? It's like 4.
Yeah, no. He said he was making like 5 psi. I think
Yeah.
is stock.
Yeah.
5. He actually just rebuilt the engine on it. He bought the car.
Shit.
It drove. It was extra slow. Like even with the turbo, this thing makes, what do you say, 105 horsepower with the turbo.
4-cylinder?
Yeah, it's like a 1.5
Yikes.
liter or something.
Yeah.
But he took it apart. Like it was a little rattly, but it wasn't bad. The thing ran and drove
Yeah.
fine. But he took it apart, and when he pulled the oil pan out, he found the thrust bearing in the oil pan.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, so he rebuilt it, bottom up. I don't think he replaced too many parts outside of like bearings, no new pistons or anything like that. Just a basic refresh.
Yeah.
And it's a little bit sprightlier now, but overall it's just kind of smoother.
Yeah, so no port and polish. We're not,
No,
new
no,
pistons.
nothing like
We're
that.
not.
No,
yeah.
he slapped it together on a budget, just did
Yeah.
the essentials.
Yeah.
But he's been itching to race the Geo as well, and that might be a decent matchup. I think his car is lighter and makes more power.
Not on the road, just being
Oh
clear.
no, completely on the road, because We will race to the speed limit, and
Okay.
that'll be plenty of time.
So it's a race to whatever the speed limit is.
Yeah, we merge onto the highway and just roll from there, like slamming gears, foot to the floor, sweating, white knuckle racing, and we're doing 55.
People going around you.
Exactly. I
The
think
places to be.
it's actually hard to find exact numbers because I don't have the sport model Geo, you know, the LSI, which was turbo.
Did they not waste their time on the other one?
So it's hard to find concrete numbers, but I found that I make between 95 to 105. I'm not sure if it's like market dependent, like if you got the Japanese one, which
You
would have
sure
been
as
the
shit
Isuzu.
can't tell by driving it.
No. But 95 horsepower is the low one, and
Yeah.
that's the number I'm sticking to. 'cause
Yeah,
it-
but you might be able to tell next to that.
and she's lost a couple horses. Some of those horses have died.
Yeah. How does he think that thing stacks up now? Does he feel like it's pretty healthy? Think he did a good job, or is it like no, it's back together?
It's as good as it can be.
So it's better than it was.
It's definitely better
Dirt, yeah,
than
okay.
it was, for sure. But
yeah.
even at like 100% health, this thing isn't, you know, gonna rip your face
I
off.
know. Dude, anytime I'm looking at old cars like this, I always, every old car I've ever bought, I'm like, someone took this off the showroom floor. 1991, someone was, you know,
Well, I mean-
you know what? Let's go trade in the Concorde. You know? And then they come in and they're like,
You know, that's the thing. Like, I get into like some of these really shitty cars. It's just like, who bought this?
Yeah.
Who saw this brand new and was
Yeah.
like, this is the move.
yeah.
Like, you go to the early 2000s, you know, everyone was making shit cars. Even Honda and Toyota, like, they would last, but they felt nasty.
Yeah.
They were cheap, but they were. You look at like a 2004 Hyundai Elantra.
Mm-hmm.
Why would you buy that over a 2004 Civic or Corolla?
Yeah.
Why?
Probably price, but if we're
I
all,
guess.
if we're being honest, but yeah. But to your point, I mean, even then, like, there's still cheaper things. I mean, maybe they thought they were getting something good, but no, you're right. Those cars,
They're gross
Yeah.
inside.
yeah,
I mean, the design language was basically non-existent for early Kia and Hyundai,
Yeah.
but like just the material and how it
Yeah.
felt when you drove it, they vibrate, they shake.
Yeah.
They're
I think that there's just a vast number of people that is like probably quantifiable, but to my brain unquantifiable, that have just never bought a brand new car, and like as soon as they go to the dealership, like they're like, I don't know, this Nissan dealership was just right down the road, and isn't this thing cute? You know what I mean? They're in front of it. It's brand new. It's new to them,
Mhm.
and like they just make themselves. I mean, the regret that I'm sure is pretty high. Like no one who has their Sentra like still today or even a decade ago and has like just been putting around for 5-6 years is like, man, I made the right decision. Like they're like, fuck.
No, I'm sure there are.
What the
I'm sure
fuck?
there are people that are like, "Oh, it's been so good to me," and it's like, yeah, you know, I get it.
No,
It didn't,
I think they traded.
it probably
him in.
hasn't broken
I
down.
think they traded him in quick.
But
That's my point. I don't think anybody lasted 10 years.
the
Not under their
CVTs.
own will. Yeah, the CVTs, the Sentras didn't last 10 years.
Yeah, no, I
Fuck.
just, and you know, you look at the Trailblazer from 2006 or so, and you put that next to a Pilot. Yeah, they're in the same class of vehicle. They're completely different construction. So if you needed to actually tow something, I could see you going for the Trailblazer. It's got like an actual frame and all that. But like for the vast majority, it was a soccer mom mobile.
Oh, yeah.
So how could you have driven a Trailblazer and a Pilot and gone back to the Trailblazer, or you know, a Toyota Highlander or something?
Yeah.
Sequoia? I don't know which of Toyota's SUVs.
Dude,
is
some of
that
those
class.
Trailblazers.
I mean, if you had a Trailblazer SS, I understand that,
Dude,
but we're not
some of
talking
them,
about
some
that.
of them were just sneaky, and they just had 5.3s.
Yeah, but most of them had that straight 6.
No, you're right. I know. Well, how about this? Let's take it up a notch, and I know you'll agree. How do you know that a Trailblazer exists and then buy the GMC Envoy? It looks way worse. There's stupid-ass wheels that came on it. They're on every single one. Dude, pull that up. I got to take a look at a 2000.
What about what was it, the Envoy XUV or something like that with the fucking weird humpback?
Oh, yeah.
Those were even...
Yeah. Pontiac Aztec, don't get me started.
Oh, you could go.
Dude,
for
look
the,
at those dumbass wheels. They're like 3-spoke.
Oh, the
fucking-
3-spoke?
Yeah, bro. Oh my god.
that's-
Someone was like, they're like, oh my god, honey, the kids love it. Let's just buy it. It's got a TV in it.
And that interior, just nasty.
Dude, it's not good.
And then, speaking of
honestly, it looks a
interiors,
lot like the interior from. I think Chevy just changed their truck interior. I think this year, and it's
well, they've changed them
but-
for a while, but I remember the.
This is pretty fucking close.
But Pontiac interiors from like the 2000s. What were they thinking?
I know, dude. I love the Pontiac GTO, old like 2004, 2002.
Well, that one's actually nowhere near as bad as like the cars that Pontiac themselves built, because that wasn't originally a Pontiac.
I'm just not okay with having the same steering wheel as a Cobalt.
They weren't though, were they?
I'm pretty sure.
Hang on.
I think they do a lot of funky years, but like the interior of a Pontiac GTO, like a 2006, just go with that. That's most popular. And that's the newest. That's probably going to be our best shot. Oh, look at that red, though.
That's not the same as the Cobalt. That's the
but
same
look
as
how
other
bad
Pontiacs.
that
like
is. Look at how
it's
bad.
not good.
Yeah.
It's not good. But that wasn't Pontiac's, like, that wasn't like Pontiac's doing, really. I think that's the Holden steering wheel. That's a Holden interior. That's why it doesn't look like other Pontiacs. Like, you go with a...
Let's try a 02 or a 4.
Let's just go to everyone's favorite, the Pontiac Firebird. Or the Trans Am, even. Same interior, but...
No, you're going old.
2002 interior.
Yeah, the fucking...
All Pontiacs of this era just have, like... It looks like a melted gummy.
Yeah.
You know, the buttons are all super rounded. They don't fit well, and the steering wheel, the airbag cover is literally just draped over the steering wheel.
Yeah.
Like, it looks terrible.
Yeah,
And that was
it's
all
not
Pontiacs.
even like... They don't even attempt to, like... like...
They were like, you know what? We suck at panel fitment.
Yeah, exactly.
So
like,
make all of the edges round in on each other.
So
it's
bad that it's like...
It's a fat roll across your dashboard.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like not setting themselves up for failure.
Like you have a muffin top on your dashboard.
Yeah, yeah. No, it's all bad. But yeah, no, I think you're right.
And
I think, it was like
Pontiac was the worst.
Yeah.
Their interior styling was rounder than like even Chevy. Chevy was similar. The buttons were kind of similar, but Pontiac, they cranked it up to 11. They're like, you know what? Our interior design is going to be based off of a morbidly obese man's stomach.
What's your favorite interior today?
Today?
Yeah.
As in brand new car?
Yeah. You're gonna drive a car that you have to put
that's a tough one.
20,000 miles on a year. Let's just say that your life changed tomorrow.
Does it have to be a car that's out now or a car that's coming out?
No, it has to be out. You gotta buy it today.
That makes it.
You have to leave here right now and go buy a car.
That's
you have a big boy check.
That's
but
difficult.
it also has to be a car that like you can't just go out and buy an Aventador. Like make it a real car.
A daily-able, like a day-to-day car.
Because I think like Volvo
has very nice interiors. The problem is, and this is why it's a hard question for me, is that all of these interiors are these like plastics, which look fine unless they're piano black. Lexus.
Yeah.
But and they've got all these touch screens and all that. And
You're not a fan of Lexus interiors?
I'm not a fan of piano black.
Okay. Yeah, I would agree with that. I'm a big peanut butter fan. Like that caramel.
Oh yeah, it's tough to pull off, but if you pull it off right, it is.
Yeah,
it's something else.
Like that color in, like on a car that's like a gunmetal gray, just has this pop. I dig it.
See, that's a hard question for me though, because I don't look at new cars very much.
Well, let's do like top 10 vehicle interiors 2023.
Well, you're gonna get a bunch of luxury cars.
Well, yeah, probably.
I mean, you could always just go with a classic, easy out, the Rolls Royce, Phantom or
anything
like that.
So like again, I guess like
interior
consumer vehicle. Can we put? Does that change it?
I don't even know if that's like something that's Googleable.
Well, folks, we're here to do the work for you. Don't waste your time, because we're still in images. Let's go to all. I don't want images.
You're looking for a list.
Yeah.
Best new car interiors 2023 road and track. What do we got here? We've got to wait for things to load. There we go. What is this? Slideshow. Oh god, it's a slideshow. Civic Type R.
Okay.
In terms of sporty, like I do think Honda's interiors are getting a lot better. Like it's a lot of clean straight lines and all that, which I like. I don't like over designed. And it does have like a punching above its weight kind of just like design to it.
Yeah, I like the way that dash is set up. The lines, you know. It has like it almost reminds me of
knobs.
yeah.
Don't get rid of those.
Yeah. Yeah, knobs. Everything kind of has like a nice shape to it. It's good to look at.
Yeah, but
I wish the steering wheel wasn't such. The airbag was like a big ball.
Honestly, that doesn't bother me as much because
Yeah.
I remember the 8th gen Civic ball
Yeah.
airbag.
Yeah.
So that's not that bad.
We don't give them a pass. See, like that's how a steering wheel should look. I mean, just an airbag. It just shouldn't have to protrude. What's the big deal?
Flush mount.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is a luxury car, of course. It's gonna be nice. But Lincoln Navigator, that's not bad.
That is not bad.
It looks like it's not a Ford.
Yeah.
Which is
Yeah,
saying
yeah.
something for Lincoln.
Yeah.
It's definitely something. Corvette. I don't like the 2-spoke steering wheel.
Yeah.
That bothers me more than the shape of
Yeah.
the thing. And this row of buttons right here is odd. But I mean, I guess it's functional. But it's definitely a step up in quality over maybe not the C7. The C7 wasn't terrible, but the
Yeah.
C6 and below, those Corvettes.
Wasn't it the S2000 that had every button like
On the
pointed
driver's
away
side.
from the passenger?
Yep.
You get an air vent and a door handle.
Yeah, that was you know what? It sounds like you've seen that regular car review.
Is
video
that-
on the S2000? This is my radio. This is my smart button. Don't even look at it. Here,
Yeah,
you can have
folks,
your
check
vent.
out
You can
regular-
have a vent.
Yeah.
Have fun with your vent. Yeah.
Check out regular car reviews. S2000.
It's weird. Just a warning.
Yeah.
Porsches, well, except for like the early 2000s. those
Yeah, I
were
know. But like you
gross.
said, like these are
But
kind of
these
like
are luxury.
gimmies. Yeah.
The Honda E.
Whoa.
That's their little electric hatchback that
I don't hate that
they're not going to
interior.
sell here.
I
I don't
that.
hate it, but I hate the implication that the driver has this much distraction going on.
Yeah.
I know it's more on the passenger side. It's probably meant for the passenger to manipulate.
That dash looks like a countertop.
Yeah, it's a countertop with a bunch of tablets stacked
Yeah.
like
And then
along
like
the top.
as a center console, it looks like it has like a small recycling bin.
Welcome to my kitchen.
Shout out to Simple Made. What is that? Simple Kitchen? Simple.
I don't know.
We're buying nice
And
stuff
look,
these
Rolls
days.
Royce.
Yeah.
Yep.
Dude, how soon until
BMW.
cars that aren't $2 million come out with the stars in the ceiling?
Well, you can buy a kit to do it yourself.
I know, no. I'm just saying,
Pain in
like,
the ass,
now
buddy.
CarPlay comes in cars, right? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, it's a base model. We kind of glazed over like the base model shit. I know, like we're kind of going hard on cars right now.
Yeah.
For anyone who's not interested in cars, are bad. It's
And
kind
hey,
of
look,
a-
Volvo.
Yeah, see, actually, not loving. I mean, maybe if I could see more.
This angle, because it's like further back and
Yeah, I don't love
up,
that
it makes
display.
it look lopsided because it's
Yeah.
all angled to the driver. But I feel like if you're sitting in the driver's seat,
Right.
it'll just look a lot more
Yeah. 'Cause
square.
everything
to you.
about that is like nice, and I know like every Volvo I've sat
There's your
in.
peanut butter.
Yeah, every Volvo I've sat in, just so comfortable.
Even
you know,
mine.
I'm with you. Yes, I'm with you though. Like, obviously, I wouldn't buy a new one, and like this fun little like game that we're playing right now is with the intention that I would never have to fix my own vehicle. You know what I mean? But yeah, I think the XC60, right, the smaller SUV.
I
think.
don't know Volvos that well.
Yeah. I think the XC60. Because, like, honestly, like, I mean, the XC90, I know is the big SUV. I think it's
Yeah.
an XC60. This is a
60
small
or
one.
70. I
Yeah,
think.
that's the one.
I'm
like,
getting
to
confused because
really-
Mazda has like the CX-70, the
I know.
CX-90,
Yeah,
CX and XC. Wow,
yeah.
Mazda's
So Hyundai
copying
wasn't in this
all
group.
those. Doesn't look like it, but Hyundai's
folks.
interior, Hyundai's modern interior. It's like I have a love-hate thing with Hyundai. They're doing a lot of things that I really like.
And then
Their end division, but having worked for both Hyundai and Kia,
yeah,
they need to slow down and fix their problems.
yeah.
You know, the cars themselves are actually set up in a way that makes them really easy to work on. I don't, I don't hate that.
Almost suspiciously easy.
But my God, before you roll out a new family of engines, why don't you figure out why the first generation of engine was blowing up constantly?
I mean, how soon until that becomes like we just swap out engines? Like 60,000? Like, well, yeah, we got an engine to put in.
Pretty much.
And it'll cost
it's
the
almost
whole
there.
thing like costs you like $5,000 a year, but the car is a lot cheaper.
I mean, you know, we are kind of heading that direction with electric cars. It's not going to be engines, though. It's going to be batteries.
Yeah.
So, we'll see how that goes.
Yeah. Yeah, that whole battery swap out plan, I feel like I don't think that electric cars are going to be able to make unless somebody comes out with a new battery. It seems like everything that today is showing us with like how hard it is to actually get batteries, make batteries, and then like recycle them to turn them back into batteries.
Yeah,
It seems like an industry that's not sustainable.
Yeah, well, a couple things. Recycling is going to be an issue until we figure out what we can do with these depleted batteries. There's tons of lithium mines and processing plants that are ramping up. So, in fact, the price of batteries, like I think lithium batteries, I just saw a graph on the internet somewhere, but the price of batteries over the past like 2 decades or so has dropped like 90%. And it's only going to continue dropping as these factories open up and supply begins to outpace demand and all that. But,
but obviously, you know, they're going to have to really ramp up, you know?
Yeah, and they are. They're in the process. That Stellantis just opened a lithium mine. Tesla just opened a lithium mine, both in the U.S., if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I think you're right. The other thing, the electrical grid.
Yep.
So, like, maybe what it should be is, like, I mean, like, no one's, like, really given up on hybrids, I don't think. I think people are harping on the electric vehicles, but, like, it seems like a happy harmony to, like, be that
A plug-in hybrid or something like that.
Plug-in hybrids. We keep the gas pumps. We keep our fun gas cars on the road. We put our heels in the sand.
We are at the beginning of what's going to be a very long transition. So, like, I live in an apartment that I can't have an electric car at because I can't plug it in anywhere.
Right.
I'd have to go to a charging station, much like I have to do with a gas car already. I have to go to a gas station. I can't gas up at home.
Yeah.
But filling up at a gas station takes 5 minutes, and filling up or charging up at a charging station takes 15 minutes. And while that doesn't seem like a big deal, when every charging station is booked because everyone's got an electric car and it takes 15 minutes per person, and that won't even get you the whole way charged.
Yeah.
That gets you like up to 80%.
Yeah, I mean, how many times have we all sat behind somebody at a gas station?
Yes, and the gas station
especially
is
summertime.
Quick.
Yeah.
So it's going to be an issue. Like, you would need significantly more stalls per station than like a gas station
like
has
100
for pumps. Yeah. You need to be able to handle volume because it's not as quick a process. Now, Toyota, who has strangely enough been like dragging their feet with electric vehicles, even though they brought the first like successful mass market hybrid. I know Honda had the Inside Out first,
but who was buying that, bro?
But the Prius was the larger success, and Honda discontinued the Insight until they brought it back as a Prius clone, practically.
Yeah.
But they have been behind because they were focusing more on hydrogen and fuel cells, which have their own like benefits and might even make more sense in like long haul, like semi trucks. As
opposed to having electric semi trucks.
Yes. So and that's something we can talk about later. But they just announced not that long ago that I think by like the mid to the end of the 2030s, they're going to have solid state batteries, which are going to be a lot more long lived, probably faster to charge, if I remember correctly, and a lot less degradation as it cycles.
Right.
If any degradation at all. So
solid state as opposed to
these
science folks.
Lithium batteries. I didn't read the article, so I don't know what they meant by solid state, but it's something that I've heard about before, where actually a couple of years ago I saw the headline for some article that some university students had like made progress towards some solid state batteries that showed zero degradation or something like that. But I haven't seen anything
like a solid state relay. Like we see them a lot at work. I think the difference, as far as I know, and I'm no expert, but I think that the only difference is they don't actually have moving parts.
Yeah, that's one of the big things. Like this Mac Mini here has, I believe, it has solid state storage. And if, like we were talking about an SSD getting for like extra storage for all the video versus a traditional hard drive. A traditional hard drive has a disk that spins with a little reader arm that reads the disk. A solid state drive is none of that. It might even just be all flash memory. Again, something I haven't looked into, but have a surface level understanding of. But solid state generally means it's like all electronic, no moving parts.
Yeah, right.
As for what that means in regards to batteries don't have moving parts, but they do have cells with like, different chemicals and metals inside of them to create the voltage that makes it a battery.
Yeah.
A good example that you would understand is the lead acid battery. You've got your lead plates inside, and then you have an electrolyte solution.
Yeah.
So a solid state battery, I'm assuming, wouldn't have that. I have no idea how they work though.
Okay. We'll get back to you folks if you're interested. I'm interested. We'll to bring that up, do some research, maybe talk about it again, because that is pretty cool. And if that's like a new innovation, it's kind of like
that
cool
could be
to
what makes like
curve.
an electric car solidly like the replacement for gas cars.
But back to the beginning. So I feel like there is a really good argument for just going straight to hybrid. Like no one can make a good argument saying that like, hey, electric's stupid. We should.
No, at this point, it's very clearly the future.
Yeah, but it's also a good argument saying that, like, at least for right now, there's no sustainability in it.
There's issues with the grid, which can be worked on, but
that's rough.
People have to stop dragging their feet on that.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think we should open more nuclear power plants.
Yeah.
If you want green energy, that's as green as we can get. That's reliable.
Yeah.
Wind energy and solar energy is great, but if it's cloudy for a long stretch, or if the wind dies down, then you have issues.
Dude, the wind stuff is just, it looks terrible, dude. And when they fail, it's dangerous.
It's bad.
Yeah.
And a lot of the,
again, not
trying to fear monger or anything,
like a plant going down and radiation.
Well, that's the thing.
But
what is it? Thorium reactors, which is what all modern nuclear power plants are, I guess, in the West, or at least in the U.S. They don't melt down like the older reactors, like Chernobyl and 3 Mile Island and all that stuff.
That's a thing that I think that is going to take so long for people to understand, and maybe it's because they're not doing the research in it, and if they're the people that are lobbying against or for, I'm sure people who are lobbying for it know the research, but people should be researching a lot of it, because it is a totally different process. There's so much new technology, and what also people don't understand is all of the nuclear sites that we have now aren't they're all old. So the stigma behind nuclear is they're just going to cause radiation. It's going to be a meltdown.
If anything goes wrong, it's going to be uninhabitable for millennia.
Yeah. And then, but it does, I guess, what's the right word? Leave the least amount of footprint.
Yeah, the only byproduct is steam.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that, those big cooling towers that are they're putting smoke in the atmosphere. It's just steam.
Yeah.
It's 100% water.
Yeah, and what's the worst part about that? It rains more. That's good. It's a fucking good thing.
It's
maybe it'll rain in California.
Enough to affect the weather.
But maybe if you amplify it, maybe it could. But
you want to latch onto the one downside.
But but that's what we should. Why not? Because the worst scenario being it rains more. I'm okay with rain. It's can't have a good day without some of the bad. But
nuclear is the most steady, reliable, green way we have to generate power.
Yeah.
In fact, Germany closed down a bunch of their nuclear plants right before the war with Ukraine. So they're kicking themselves over that.
How about that one that's there's I think it was the one that's it's pulling metal out of the ground.
Oh, okay. You're talking about the lithium mine for Stellantis.
Yeah, but isn't that a nuclear plant?
No. Geothermal.
Oh. Okay.
But yeah, that they're using geothermal energy to generate, electricity, and in doing so they're pulling this brine out of the ground, and they run it through their turbines or however. God, I haven't watched that in forever. I should have looked that up.
Yeah.
But they run it through the plant to generate electricity, and then they pump it right back into the ground.
Yeah.
But what they're doing now is, instead of pumping it straight into the ground, they're putting it through some sort of extraction or filtration process that pulls the lithium out of that brine mixture and then puts the water minus the lithium back into the ground.
Yeah.
So, I mean, unless there's some unknown ecosystem that thrives off of lithium metal,
Yeah.
that's also like a very green way of pulling lithium to create the batteries for these electric cars, which is what they're doing. You know, Stellantis, for those who don't know, is the company that owns Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Fiat, and I think some French cars are involved in that. I'm not 100% sure on that.
And so, like, what's the footprint on something like that? I mean,
well, geothermal is a green energy source, no pollution, and pulling lithium out of that brine solution right now, like I said, they're not adding anything. The only pollution would be wherever they're getting the power to do that.
Yeah.
And if they're generating it from the geothermal plant, then that's about as clean as you can make it.
So it sounds like it's just creating jobs and extracting.
And I think Tesla
lithium
also opened a lithium mine, but I know nothing about that.
Yeah. Dude, if everybody was doing it, and I don't know about like the geological restraints to this and like where like lithium is and like where they can do this, but like, dude, let's just say in like the United States they opened up like 50,000.
I think we have a decent amount of lithium in the U.S. So
but if they open like 50,000 of these across like the entire United States,
that'd
like,
be a lot.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
But
like now, like
much.
I mean, considering that like everyone wants to go to electric, I don't think that it is too much. Well, especially if like that's how we get out of
Stellantis' mine is supposed to generate enough lithium for a couple 100,000 cars a year. So 50,000 plants with that capacity, or not plants, but mines with that capacity, would be literal millions of cars a year. I don't know how many change hands per year and how many of those would be electric, and I know that number will get bigger as time goes on. We make that move more and more towards electric, but 50,000 plants is a lot.
Yeah, but you're talking about making cars.
Well, I'm talking about extracting the lithium for using in cars and other batteries as well. But.
Yeah, because what it sounds like to me is that the electrical grid, probably as much as like there probably is some sort of solution, it probably never will, and it won't be soon, that the electrical grid can actually handle charging that many batteries. So if we are in a sense of that
earlier this year that California put out that notice to everyone that there was a heat wave coming on, so don't charge your electric cars so we don't have rolling blackouts.
Better than that, yes, that is true.
Right after they banned the sale of new gasoline vehicles in 2035.
Yep. So everyone's like,
it's a good look.
Yep. Keeping my Toyota, my gas Camry,
Yep.
Fuck that.
62 Buick's the most practical car going forward. Understood.
Yeah. Yeah, so I think that it's probably more plausible what you were saying earlier about like changing batteries, having like more of a battery swap scenario where
there are some brands that have toyed around with that idea, but I don't think they've gone forward so much. At least none that have had commercial success. Tesla has not subscribed to that theory, and they're the number one EV like seller, if not the world, then at least in the Western world, because I don't know if China's got a brand that's outpacing them in China, because China is now the world's largest car market, more than the U.S.
Oh yeah.
But Tesla's the battery is the floor.
Yeah.
That's hard to change. I mean, you can drop the battery pack, but it's not made to be easily swappable, and I don't even know if Tesla will sell you a battery pack.
So I'm not saying that like you change it like how you change, or it's not like every time you fill up your gas tank in your EV.
That is something that people were like.
I know that's too much. There's no way that can happen. There's no way. You and I understand mechanics. Like we're not popping batteries into the back of a remote. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's like it's totally different.
That could work for the long haul industry though, like big trucks.
Maybe, but my thing is that like what if it's like, okay, we make these batteries a little bit different. Like, we've come up with the technology now. We have so much of this lithium or whatever we end up like deciding to use. And now instead it's like, okay, every like 1 to 2 years you have to replace the battery. So like, yes, you're charging, but you're not charging as much. Like if the batteries are designed different, like I think that's like some sort of like mixture, like relationship is like the only way I see it, like it working.
So what, you want to just like, as part of like a maintenance deal, replace the batteries?
Almost.
And do what with them?
Recycle. So then they would just be like a recycling thing. And I'm just saying like that would be like a trade-off to like how Like, because like now these batteries are supposed to last a long time, you know. But like you said, like they all like degrade over time. But like, so if they were able to make them in a way where it was more of like a changeable thing, and it was like changing out, but then if there's also like a take from that where like they don't last as long, but like they don't need to be charged as much. I don't understand batteries, by the way, folks. So this is my la la land and my bro science. So like I'm just saying, like if that could be a trade off, like I think something like that would work.
That
but, like,
trade off would never sell. No one would accept that.
Yeah, no one's gonna want to change.
No one's gonna want to do anything like that.
Yeah, that's true.
No, the only direction we can move is batteries that can charge faster, which comes with that. That comes with its own set of headaches. The cable's got to be able to handle that much power. Like the cables now are already liquid cooled.
Yeah.
And Tesla has unveiled their like megawatt charger for the new Tesla Semi. Huh?
Is it like coolant?
Something like that.
Oh,
some kind of coolant. It's got to not freeze in the winter, but it's got to be able to cool that wire that's passing literally like a megawatt of power for this Semi. Because you know the Semi's got they've advertised a range of 500 miles. So it's got to, you know, last that long, and then it's got to charge quickly so that they can, you know, turn around and haul back and all that. And it's got to have a huge capacity because that's a heavy truck with a heavy load. It's going to draw a lot of power. So they've got this megawatt charger, like, what was it? They offer like a package deal where you can buy, you know, a fleet of trucks, and they'll set you up with a charging station at your, like, you know, distribution hub, whatever, wherever you keep the trucks. And they're going to have megawatt chargers that charge really fast, which they need to because those are big freaking batteries. So in order to have like a usable charge time, it needs to be able to dump power into these batteries. So, you know, we need to move in a direction where we can like shove as many electrons in these batteries as fast as possible, get it down to like a refueling type, you know, time. Not just because, oh, that's much more convenient. I don't want to wait 15 minutes to, you know, get 200 miles of range. It's if everyone's got an electric car, you think gas stations are bad now. What do you think these charging stations are going to be like when it takes 15 minutes to charge your car at any useful amount?
Oh, yeah.
So, you know, we need to work on that. We need to work on reducing battery degradation so that they don't lose range as they go. And if we can get these solid-state batteries that have near zero degradation that last forever.
Let's see what's going on here. Make sure... podcast still rolling. Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, folks. Just checking on some technicals. So, yeah, I agree. The other thing is, how would trains make this better? Because I feel like...
Well, trains don't need to be battery powered.
That's what I'm saying. So, like...
You just have the line running across there, which we do in cities. It's long haul that we don't because we don't have the infrastructure to have the lines go all the way across the country. Yeah,
I mean, aside from all of these new, like, weird, like, anomalies that have been happening for our railroads where, like, things have been...
Just derailing and exploding, usually with toxic chemicals?
Yeah, how is this, like, every time one derails, they're like, what the fuck is on all of these trains? You know what I mean? Like, that, like the past two that have derailed.
Doesn't want you to know, but
yeah, dude. Like, are none of these like filled with like cocoa pebbles? Like, what the fuck, dude? Like, all of them are all just full of like toxic
those
chemicals.
Trains have been derailing as well, but they don't make the news.
Well, yeah, what the fuck? Well, so before all this, which was like kind of like coincidental, because I was just thinking that like. I mean, I know that the trucking business is a big thing and that there's a lot of truckers out there that are probably telling me to go fuck myself, but like I'm kind of feeling like most of those trucks should be like have come off the road, clearing our highways, and huge safety concerns because there's more people on highways as opposed to like even being near railroads. So if we could just pump more money into the railroad infrastructure, creating more railroads, more efficient ways of doing them, more avenues and schedules and time to be able to transport stuff, and like getting railroads, like start building businesses back where there's railroads, you know, like just right up here we have this whole infrastructure. Like, I don't know if you've been through town, but like there's a million ways for a train to get into our little town and to go all over the place. But those businesses have now like dried up for whatever reason. I didn't do any research on those companies, but it's literally now nothing. I think someone else owns it and they just like park stuff there. But like businesses should come back to that. I think.
Yeah,
and
I mean,
like trains being like the main source of like product movement,
they are for like across the country.
but more
Regional.
Yes.
Yeah, we would need to build up our regional railroad significantly because as it sits right now, like the reason why U.S. trains suck compared to like Europe and Japan and all that is because our passenger trains and our freight trains share the same lines. So
Yeah, so it's nay on that.
so you know, if you're taking an Amtrak and you have to pull off to a siding to let another train pass, like it's just, we would need to significantly scale up our regional lines to support more regional freight transport.
Yeah.
And also not interrupt our already shitty passenger services.
Yeah. So if you're a truck driver today, go get a railroad job.
But I don't think it's practical, not without significant investment, to build all of these businesses
100%.
near a rail line.
Well, I'm just saying, like, I think that solves the issue. Like, if electric cars are going to be the change, and like, let's not like, how much money would it take to figure out how the fuck we get an electric?
Well, I mean, if we can,
tractor trailer,
if we could boost like, you know, the more regional stuff a bit, so that there were more depots near these rail lines, which there already are. That's how it's set up. But you know, we reduce the distance that trucks need to drive.
Yeah.
If we can spread the railroad infrastructure
and we have a bunch of
further,
small
and then
electric
we use,
box trucks.
Yeah, electric trucks, or even the Tesla Semi, just because that thing accelerates so much faster than a regular truck.
But like we're dealing with like, just to kind of like bring it back to my point.
I
is that,
have
like,
no issue with a semi truck doing 80 on the turnpike, but most of them can't.
I mean, I'm not objecting to either of those things, but what I'm saying is that, like, I think the reality is of having that many electric cars on the road, there's no way that a tractor trailer can still do the same job without having being able to fill up with diesel and doing like the recharging thing.
Well, again, if we
I just don't see it happening
if we reduce the need for long haul trucking
with trains,
and then just use electric trucks for the final
just
mile,
small box trucks,
the last 100 miles.
Yeah, maybe not even.
I mean, that would be ideal, but that's also the closer you get to that last mile destination, like exponentially the amount of you have to invest into like the infrastructure goes up.
Yeah.
So the last 100 miles being just electric trucks would be significantly better.
Yeah. Yeah. No.
And again, these electric trucks would be able to accelerate faster, hold their speed better on the highways, slow the traffic down less.
This feels like more of a personal complaint.
This is a very personal complaint. Go faster.
Yeah, folks. Adrian is not a fan of traffic, so please just do do Adrian a service and stay out of the left lane.
There are 3 rules to follow.
You are in his way. Not like
I'm the main character here.
9 times out of 10, I'm sure you've been in his way.
No. 3 rules to follow in the left lane: lead, follow, get out of the way. If you are in the left lane and everyone's behind you, make sure they're not bunching up behind you. Lead. If you are in the left lane and there's people in front of you, follow them. Match their speed.
Yep.
If you can't do either of these 2, just get out of the left lane.
Yeah, bingo. PSA, people.
I mean, you're right. Yelled at by people saying, "Oh, you know, I'm going the speed limit. I have every right to be in the left lane."
And you do.
Yeah, and you do.
You do.
And that makes you an asshole.
But yeah, and you also have the
Look
right.
in your rearview mirror, read the room.
Yeah.
There's going to be a bunch of traffic behind you. Just get out of the way.
You also have the right to just leave your shopping cart when you're done with it at the grocery store, wherever you'd like. No one's going to stop you. However,
you're an asshole.
You should put it back in the cart little kiosk. At the very least. Jeez, you know. But so good. That PSA is out of the way. But yeah, so I do think that I mean, we're going hard on the electric thing, but I think that's like a pretty good. I don't think like basically how we started this whole thing is that I don't think that electric vehicles are going to be able to do it by themselves.
Not yet.
Yeah. So I mean, obviously, but it does just seem it's probably a necessary evil that like we have to like harp and push on electric to get the innovation, because it does kind of seem that people have kind of like fallen back on like the hybrid thing. I think it's old news.
I dislike hybrids because you're taking 2 very different power sources that generate power in very different ways and trying to make them play nice together. If you've ever worked on a hybrid, you know all kinds of things go wrong, and it's complicated. It's way more complicated than either just a gas car or just an electric car. They play very well by themselves. They don't play too well together.
Yeah.
But they are kind of a necessary evil for now. When we can get electric car charging to be 1-for-1 the same as like filling up with gas, so there's no degradation. You know, you don't lose range every time you fill up your car, your gas car, and we can get the time down. And obviously, we need more of these charging stalls. There's plenty of them now. There's plenty of Tesla superchargers, but there's still not as many as gas stations. So if we can get those things addressed, then yeah, I could get an electric car in my apartment that I can't charge at home at, because I'd be able to just drive down to the street, know I can charge it, know it won't take too long, and that there's not going to be a line out to the road because there's 8 stalls and it takes 15 minutes to charge. To 80%.
Dude, how about and also how about like you need to go to the hospital?
Yep.
Hop in the garage and you're like, dude, I plugged my your in, and it's somehow something happened. It didn't charge.
Or you just forgot to plug it in.
Yeah. You know, like like your wife's having a baby. You know, like go to get in the car, and you're like, what the hell? Can't open it. Can't
if you're
get
out
in
of gas, you can like 30 seconds. That's enough to get you enough gas to get to the hospital.
Yeah. Well, I mean, to that point, it'd be like, well, it's your own damn fault for putting it away without having the electric.
Well, yeah, but I'm just, we're you were talking about like an emergency situation where you're in less than ideal conditions. If you have a car that's dangerously low on gas, again, you can stop it. 30 seconds, have enough gas to get to your destination. Can you do that with an electric car yet?
No.
Not really.
Yeah.
Not without really cutting it close.
And not with like the physics that we know like about batteries.
And again, like I don't hate electric cars. I like them. I think
I'm with you.
They're definitely 100% the future, and they've unlocked a whole new level of performance that was previously untouchable without making some serious sacrifices. But there's a little bit of work that needs to be done before it can become like a 1-to-1 drop-in replacement for the gas car.
It's sustainable. Yeah. So we kind of touched on it, but nuclear plant.
Oh yeah, nuclear plants.
Yeah.
Well, what did you want to talk about?
So specifically, like, I guess like we should probably just take this opportunity because we've turned this whole podcast into electric vehicles and cars, and so this is going to be our first car podcast. Yeah. So I guess like a huge piece of that is going to be like making those plants work. You know, going nuclear.
Nuclear, yeah. I mean, like I said, like we touched on earlier, it's the greenest option we have with the least amount of uncertainty to it.
Yeah.
You know, with wind turbines, if the wind stops blowing, solar.
Yeah, everybody knows that's
cloudy. Hydroelectric's good, but what if you're not near a river? You know.
Bro, no. Like those kind of things with the weather dry up.
Yeah.
Like everybody knows that sucks. If you're advocating for that, then you haven't like clearly it's a biased opinion. You haven't done the research, or you're just ignoring facts.
There's a couple things you can do to offset that. Like, and I think we kind of do this a bit, but like you can get a huge battery like array and pump that full of electricity from your solar farm or your wind farm. And then, during like high demand, low supply times, you can feed off of that. And that's something that pretty sure we have done. Tesla kind of offers that for your house. You can get the solar roof with a power wall and all that.
Yeah.
But
that's certainly an option. Is going like solar
nuclear
at the house.
Is just it works. I mean, nuclear itself is actually remarkably simple. A lot of people think it's super dangerous sci-fi shit. No, we use the nuclear reaction.
Yeah, 3 Mile Island,
to make
Chernobyl,
heat.
Yeah,
boil water, generate steam, and spin a turbine. That's all a nuclear power plant is. So I haven't like verified this or done like any research, but I had heard or read like someone talking about the biggest drawback with nuclear power, and the reason why it doesn't catch on is one, startup is super expensive.
Yeah.
But also all of the safety, like redundancies and equipment that goes into running a nuclear plant is so expensive that it doesn't really work without major government subsidies in terms of like profitability.
Mm-hmm.
Now, normally I don't like government expanding and getting a hold of everything, but like if we want to,
this is where
push government investment into our grid, I'm fine with that.
This is what the government is for.
Yeah, this is something that I would be absolutely like, okay,
Yeah.
let's fund this.
Yeah.
You want to spend my tax money on building a bunch of modern, safe, efficient nuclear
infrastructure.
reactors?
Yeah.
Go for it.
Yeah, just stop making me get permits. Like, that's what they're
Why
not
do I need a
for.
permit for a fire pit in my backyard?
Yeah, the fuck.
But yeah, that's how I feel about that. Germany has been systematically disabling their nuclear plants, and I'm not sure why. I mean, it might be that they were old and maybe a little bit unsafe. That's on me. I haven't done any research into it. But I do know that Trump got laughed at when he warned them that they'd be under Russia's thumb
if they did it.
If they did that.
And then they did it, and now they're weak. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they're scraping by, but
yeah, that sucks. I mean, without
Russia
having that energy
cutting
supply,
off their oil supply.
Yeah, without having that source of energy, that independence, that sucks.
Yeah, independence is key when your neighbor is that crazy.
Yeah.
Speaking of Russia.
Yeah.
So some spicy things have happened.
Well,
lately.
do you want to save it for another podcast, or how long do you want to just let this one keep
So this is going to be the
rolling?
car podcast with the odd tangent to
I
nuclear power?
I think we can come back and hit another one, honestly.
Well, I mean,
you want to just
I don't think we've quite hit an hour because we probably have like 5 minutes at the beginning of just setup, but it doesn't need to be.
Yeah. Well, if we want to just keep the theme of this one, just to kind of put a bow on it, there was a couple things that we wanted to talk about, like car-wise, the Integra, which is kind of a flop, the Supra, kind of a flop. Like,
well, they weren't
not
really
that these
flops.
aren't, not
they're
that they're not
personal
all,
flops.
Yeah,
I'm not happy.
Exactly.
About them.
They're still cool cars. They're still awesome.
I'll fight
you
you
know what
on
I mean?
that.
I mean, if someone gave you one, you would be like, hell yeah.
I'd be like, hell yeah, I can sell this and buy something better.
I know. All right. Well, if you didn't need the money, let's just say that. You didn't need the money, you had a car collection, let's just say you're living high on the hog. Are you saying that, like, because the monetary value of it like means nothing to you, that you would just be like, well, it's actually such a bad car that I wouldn't want to even have it?
I can honestly say I have zero interest. The Supra is a maybe, but the Integra, even the Type S, I have minimal interest in owning one. Period.
It's so big.
It's not the Integra I've grown to love.
I know. I feel like...
And, maybe it's with the Supra I'm more amenable to ownership on that because I haven't owned an old Supra, but I have owned a real Integra.
Dude, you know what's fucked up? Is that the old Supra, pretty much all of the Supras were relatively big.
Yeah.
They were kind of big cars, even for their eras.
Mm-hmm. The Supra was a Grand Touring car.
So then, like, the new Supra comes out, and they're like, hey, what if we just made it small?
Well, I don't think they wanted to make it small. If you look at the FT1 concept, that was, the rebirth of the Supra originally.
Yeah.
It's about on par with an old Supra. The reason it's smaller is because it shares a platform with the BMW Z4. And that's a smaller car.
It is, but that's... So
they didn't. It's not that they wanted to make it smaller. It's like, here's the platform that BMW, that we're going to work with on BMW. It's this big. This is what we have to work with.
Don't do it. Call it something else. You know what I mean? Like the same thing with like the Integra. I'm sure that a very similar scenario happened at a big board meeting at Acura, and they were like, you know what? We're just got to use the Civic platform.
Are we
I'm
talking
sorry.
about this? Are we just going to keep going with this? Because we can keep going with this. Okay.
I think we should just go hard and go deep. Make the car podcast.
Congratulations, guys! You got some bonus content.
Yeah, if you made it this far, it's bonus content.
So,
and we thank you.
The Integra. Let's start there because the Supra's been talked about by.
I know it is old news. The Integra did just come out.
Yeah, we can touch on that, but the Integra. My biggest issue with the Integra isn't that it's just a Civic.
Yeah.
Because it's always been a Civic. It has always been a prettied up Civic.
Yeah.
It's the lack of effort that Honda's put into it. It is a blatant cash grab. The only thing about that connects it to the Integras of old is the name.
Yeah.
Because the previous Integra, like, here's the thing. Yes, they made four-door Integras.
Yeah.
But when someone says Integra, what comes to mind?
Yeah, you don't go like, oh yeah, that four-door sedan.
All right.
Like, no.
When Ford,
that awesome hot hatchback.
Yeah, when Ford brought the Mustang back to like the classic look.
Yeah.
They didn't style it after the Mustang 2.
Exactly.
When Dodge brought back the Challenger, when Chevy brought back the Camaro.
Yeah.
Which ones did they pick?
The fucking good ones.
The iconic ones.
Yes.
What is the iconic Integra? It's the 96 to 2001 coupe.
Yeah.
Hatch.
Exactly.
Two-door.
Yeah.
That is it. Now, when you're going to bring back something that has that name, that has that heritage and that nostalgia attached to it, you need to bring back the icon.
Yeah.
It's the same thing with like the, I'm going to talk about the Supra now.
Yeah.
My biggest upset with the Supra is that they didn't tie it to the iconic one enough. It's got a similar shape.
Yeah.
But when you have an iconic name that has taken a break, a hiatus,
Yeah.
when you bring it back in order to not jar people and in order to really capitalize on that nostalgia, you need to pick up where you left off.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I wouldn't even be mad if the Integra came back looking more like the RSX.
Sure. Yeah.
That's more of an Integra than this.
Yeah. 100%. Yeah. 100%. And I think technically, like in like Japan, I think they even like called it an Integra.
Everywhere else, the only reason it was the RSX was because Acura at the time was only in North America, and Acura had moved to that 3-letter designation: TLX, TSX,
right,
RSX, RLX, MDX.
Yeah.
So they just changed the name to fit that.
Yeah.
But everywhere else where Acura didn't exist, it was the Honda Integra.
Yeah. So that's my thing, is that like I feel I completely agree with you, and honestly that was the best way to describe it, because I didn't really even think of it that way. Like Camaro, Mustang, they all brought them back. Like, yeah, there was tons of shitty other Mustangs.
There were
like,
tons of shitty Camaros and
let's
all
put
that.
4 doors on this new Mustang GT.
Well, they
like,
did that. It's called the Mach-E, and I have things to say about that as well.
Yeah. But the Mach-E, I mean, even quoting you, the Mach-E doesn't count as a Mustang. It doesn't count.
It's not.
You know what I mean?
That's why.
But now they did give it the name. They were wrong to do that, but I feel like it definitely has its own separation. Like, at least
we'll talk about that later. Back to the Integra.
But yeah, but to your point, like at that same point, like they still have that Mustang. They should have a 2-door, like completely different looking car.
Why Honda took the route that they did. I understand it. I can understand it and be unhappy with it.
Yeah.
But it's to sell it. The 4-door is more practical. The 4-door probably would have sold more. But let's take a look at what's been selling really good lately. We've got the 300ZX, or not 300. Why did I call that? The new Z.
Yeah.
They've got the Supra.
Yeah.
You've got the FRS.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's the GT86 now.
Yeah.
The BRZ. They have no problem selling those.
Yeah, it's 300ZX, right? Is the new one?
No,
Nissan? Or is it just
they
Z?
were going to call it, or people were thinking it was going to be called the 400Z because it's a 4-liter now.
Yeah.
But Nissan dropped the number prefix.
Z.
It's just the Z.
Okay. That thing's pretty sweet. I dig that.
That was done right.
Yeah.
I wish they put a separation in the giant rectangular grill up front, but that's my only complaint.
Yeah.
Yeah, that thing, it comes with, and they beat Supra at the game. They came with a manual off the get.
Yeah. That too. I mean, like, and at least the Integra has an actual 6-speed. That's cool. But still, just to get back to the Mustang thing, like where I'm okay with the Mach-E's because they still have a 2-door Mustang. They have a full. It's just like they didn't even touch it.
You're entitled to your opinion, even though it's wrong.
Well, no. But just like you said, so like the Integra back in the day came with a 4-door. Not as good. Don't care.
No one cares about it.
I don't care who's feeling I'm
Except
hurting.
for Furman. He loves them 4 doors.
He does. Yeah, shout out to Furman. Love you. So they have a 4-door version of the Mustang. And I don't care, like, whatever, like, we went on with split hairs. But then they still have a regular 2-door awesome Mustang that they didn't
let me
touch.
tear into that.
Now, hang on. Now, why can't they have a 2-door Integra that's completely different from this 4-door fat, heavy, awesome, probably, car, but, like, it's just not the Integra.
And there's no callbacks to it except for Integra embossed on the bumper.
Yeah, the 4-door should just be like this thing that everybody forgot about. And like, if you are looking for that kind of car, cool, buy it. The same thing with the Mach-E. But if you actually want like that, like I used to have a Mustang when I was a kid. Like I want that. And like we used to have Integras. Now we have as like as one of our first cars. Now we want to have a new Integra. Like we can't. Mm-hmm. We don't have an option.
But
we don't
here's
have
the thing.
that 2-door option.
That's the other thing. The new Integra has like no callbacks to the old Integras,
right?
At all. Maybe the tail lights, but not even. That looks like a Genesis.
No.
But look at the last year of the ILX.
Yeah.
In fact, let me pull that up for you, just so you can see what I'm talking about here.
Yeah. Get some point of reference.
Acura ILX.
Looks like the Integra.
Because it is.
Yeah.
You know what the ILX was before they brought the Integra back? Before they made a whole big hullabaloo about, we're bringing the Integra back.
TSX?
No, the ILX was a Civic
Oh, that's right.
that they put different body panels on
Yeah.
and different interior.
Yeah. So now, do they still make the ILX?
No.
Just for. Oh, mysteriously the ISX
The
is
ILX,
gone, and now they called it an Integra.
They got rid of the ILX and they brought out the Integra.
Dude, this is the biggest scam of ever.
The only big difference, I think, structurally, it's a trunk instead of a hatchback.
Dude, this is the biggest scam.
And no one's talking about it.
They scammed us. They got rid of the exact same car and then just brought it back with a new name, an iconic, legendary name. Yeah, dude, that's like, it's gigantic. Yeah. I mean, it's the size. I think it's the same.
That's
how?
an Integra.
How is that even the same?
Well, I mean, the Civic's grown, and it's based on the Civic.
I know, but are we just gonna like concede to like that's just okay? And I that's another thing that you and I have always talked about, and like cars have just gotten bigger, and obviously we get it. Like all of these companies have like they're not making cars for you and I; they're making cars to sell to people, and like what's selling is a big car. Like people like having the room and the big cars and the cup holders and all the other stuff, and so I get it. But like, are we just gonna be like okay with the fact that cars are just getting huge? Do we just like because they are, and there's no signs of any car actually shrinking aside from the Supra?
You're not. The general public is.
I know, but I just wish just like 1 year. Like this is like for the
Honda,
first.
God bless him, did that 1 year, going from the 8th gen to the is it the 8th gen?
Oh no, you're talking about
8th gen Accord to the 9th gen Accord.
Yeah,
it actually shrank.
Yeah.
It went from because that generation Accord was huge.
Yeah.
And it was actually classified as a full-size car instead of mid-size, and they actually dropped it back into the mid-size category when they released the next one. And they managed to do that while increasing interior room without making the proportions look strange.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people kind of decried that Accord as being boring, but that's like my favorite body style of like the new Accords. Because the newest Accord, it kind of looks that car almost looks like too plain. I'm not a fan of how flat the front end is. And
for anyone who's listening, you really should Google the 2023 Acura Integra, and hilariously right next to it is the Type R from 2001, and it is just I
don't like this
the best example of how badly they messed this up. And again, I would be fine with this new Integra, the new Acura Integra, if they also had a two-door version.
That was the iconic one.
That was very like small, sporty, agile, basic, a little bit more bare bones, that like really did a good homage to the old Integra. And even if they just did it for 1 year, they're like, hey, look, this year we're bringing back the Integra for 1 year. We're gonna make the two-door. How cool would that be?
If they did that though,
who cares? I don't care. I probably can't afford any of them.
I was gonna say if they did that, it'd be such a limited run. It'd probably be over $100,000.
Fine. I mean, look, dude. Honestly, I'll never own one of these cars.
But
you know what I mean? I probably won't ever be in that position.
Yeah, I don't like.
My point. This is more of a historical thing to just have it like stamped into history, just as they've stamped in this Acura Integra, and like now this is how it gets stamped in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It totally changes what the Integra is, because like before you could say an Acura Integra to somebody and like just like you were saying, everyone knew what you were talking about immediately. Oh, now speaking of the good things they brought back, Lamborghini Countach, people look it up. Lamborghini Countach.
I mean, honestly, to me it kind of looks more like a Diablo, but I like the Diablo. But when we were talking,
the Diablo was the best.
When we were talking before about Lamborghini or Ferrari, and I said I would not buy a Ferrari. I'd take a Lamborghini over Ferrari any day. Even their special limited edition run cars are better. I'm sorry.
That's fucking beautiful. Yeah, I don't like the white, the black square on it. I'm not a huge fan of like the white.
This right here? Yeah. That's iconic. It's a callback to the original Countach. The big NACA duct on the side.
The duct, but it wasn't black. You could get them all in one color.
These things are limited.
I'm not saying they can't have a duct. I'm saying it can't be. I don't want it to be black. I don't want.
Maybe it didn't have that. I don't know what that is.
No, I think you're right. No. That's a bad picture. Just makes that Countach look closer to the other one because the Countach had a spoiler and shit. Like
that's the original Countach.
Yeah,
they didn't have that. That's how they came.
Let's pull some pics up because the Countach
that's missing its wing, but that's
look, there it is.
There's the duck right, and it's black.
And it's black.
Yeah, so it's a call back to that.
All right. Well, it's a lot smaller. But yeah, now you knew.
Of course, it should be smaller.
Dude, the back end of that looks so sick.
The old Countach?
No, the new one. See that new one up there?
Oh yeah,
right in the middle. Oh my god, dude, That is going to be in the new Transformers movie. Come on. Come on. Top Gear did this? How's Top Gear doing now that it's...
They're one of the car shows out there.
Okay. Sorry, Top Gear. No shout out.
Before I get too happy about this, I did need a palate cleanser.
Yeah.
The Mach-E. I need to tear into that.
All right.
And why I don't agree with your level-headed and completely reasonable take.
Okay.
So it's the same issue I have with the Eclipse Cross. And I know you're going to say, oh, well, but you can't get a regular Eclipse now.
Yeah.
But it's not that. First off, Ford had a golden opportunity to call it the Galaxy.
Oh, that would have been fucking dope.
And they missed that. Second, why did it need the name Mustang? Because the diehard Mustang fans who like the Mustang and buy Mustangs are going to hate what it is.
Yeah.
And it's an SUV. It's a little crossover. They don't need help being sold. The people who buy crossovers
You're right.
don't give a shit what it's called.
You're right.
Do you think anyone bought the Mitsubishi Eclipse Cross because it's called the Eclipse?
Right.
No.
Yeah.
That thing would have sold just Ford's first affordable, compact, like crossover electric car.
Yeah.
That would have sold like hotcakes, Mustang or no Mustang.
Yeah. Yeah, I would say like honestly, I would say 90% of the people who are buying Mach-E's also have no interest in a Mustang.
They don't
a regular
like they might be like, "Oh, well, I bought a Mustang," but
yeah,
that's not going to stop them from buying it.
Yeah, yeah. None of them. Anybody who has,
if it was called the Galaxy,
yeah,
they'd have been like, "Oh, I bought a Galaxy."
Yeah, and again, which is Ford Galaxy. You know, now is that like a patronage to like the Ford Galaxy?
I mean, honestly, if they had called it the Galaxy and without the perspective of it,
now we piss off those people.
Alternative being the Mustang, I would have been a bit more upset, but not as upset as I am about the Mustang.
Yeah, at least they don't make the Galaxy anymore.
Yeah.
But again, like if they made it look like that, and they were like, "Dude, this isn't a fucking Galaxy. It's a crossover." You know what I mean? Like, but I think they could have just called it the Mach-E, left the Mustang out of it.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, maybe they can share the taillights if they want to, but because honestly, like again, like if I don't think it looks that bad, you know, compared to the other things that are like it. I mean, it's not the worst thing to look at.
It's not the ugliest SUV out there, but because it's got Mustang features on it, I keep seeing the Mustang, and it looks like a fat, bloated Mustang. It's terrible.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
If they dropped all of the Mustang motifs, and like honestly, it's not a bad looking SUV thing.
Yeah.
I've seen worse. Yeah,
they probably should have like put a little bit of innovation into it to give its own spunk and just change the name. I think you're right. There is just too much like connected to like
there's too much baggage with that name.
Exactly. There's too many instances where the people like the car companies are taking the old name and like trying to leverage it on the customer.
And they seem to forget that the only people who care about that name are going to hate what they're going to do with it.
Yeah, exactly. And
like
the people
brand
who are
recognition,
buying it
name
don't
recognition.
Understand.
People who recognize and like Mustangs don't want an SUV.
Yeah, they're pissed off that you try to like pull some wool over their eyes. Yeah.
No, and honestly, I wouldn't be mad if they rolled out an electric Mustang.
Yeah, they will.
That's
I'm sure
the way it's going.
Yeah,
it's going to happen eventually.
Yeah.
And if they wanted to call the GT350 the Swan Song, that 5.2 flat plane crank, 8,200 RPM V8, that was their last hurrah to V8? I'd have been happy.
Yeah, went out with a bang. Speaking of that, didn't the Challenger, or was it the Camaro that came out that's electric? I think it was the Challenger.
No, not Challenger, Charger.
Charger, that's what it was.
And that's an interesting car.
Yeah. So Dodge went hard in the paint. Obviously, everybody knows that you can buy like a rocket ship, a gasoline rocket ship. And they're just selling them like hotcakes. So they went out with a bang, and I think they have like just dropped the axe on.
Now this is just that's not it.
Oh, I think that was a picture of it though.
Yeah, it's there.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Is it? Was it the Banshee?
Yeah, I think they've dropped the axe so far on the on all the gas stuff.
They are ending it, and they just did a final send off with that
the Hornet,
the Demon. I forget what other moniker they added to it, but they dropped it out of like a helicopter or something and had it do a wheelie down the drag strip.
Oh shit!
they gave it a send off.
Fuck yeah!
And it's like 1,000 horsepower.
Bro,
or something.
that Charger or Yeah, that Charger right there looks sweet in
The
white.
blue, the white one.
Yeah.
The wide body.
Yeah, with the wide body on it. That looks sweet. Oh,
Dodge
does that say
is
Henny's?
doing some fun things. Yeah, this thing.
Yeah, dude, that looks sick.
So, Dodge knows their market.
Yeah.
They're one of the few people that seems to actually know their market.
Yeah, they're pretty grounded. Their board is.
They know
pretty
what they're
grounded.
good at.
Yeah,
And they know what kind of people like what they do.
Yeah.
So-
That looks so sick, bro. I love that.
From a design perspective, I think they did a great job.
And they've never made a 2-door Charger, correct?
No, that they caught flack for that, but people have finally come around
Yeah.
to it.
And now they've done it.
This might actually be 4-door,
No, I think it's 2-door.
but yeah, it's a concept.
Dude,
They're not making.
Click
this
that
thing.
that black. Yes, look at
Okay,
that.
so that is a 2-door. You know, the original Charger was 2 doors, and when they
and it
brought
had
it
that
back,
big back window.
yeah, when they
you
brought
know?
it back, you're thinking of
So
something else, I
sweet.
think. But they brought it
No,
back,
click
and then the 4
the old
doors.
click the old Charger. The old Charger had like a big back window just like that, where like the window went past the door.
Oh, you're just talking about like
That, yeah.
that.
Where like the Mustang has like this tiny little
Oh,
window,
yeah.
you know.
Okay, now I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
But this car is interesting. Not only is it electric, which is bound to upset some of the Dodge crowd, but I like that Dodge put an earnest effort in giving this thing its own very distinct personality. Now, naturally it's going to be even faster than the Hellcats and maybe even the Demons, because Dodge understands that the only way to get people to take this thing seriously is to put some serious power behind it.
And they set the bar pretty high.
They set the bar stupid high.
And dude, thank God they did. And I think like to what you're saying, that like if they had it going this hard and they just like out of nowhere were like, yeah, we're all done with that big V8 that we were like pumping out before,
Putting in everything.
We're all done. Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, but one, Dodge is putting, I don't know if they put it in this car, but in their electric cars, they're actually going to be putting in a multi-speed transmission. It's not going to be one speed, so it will shift.
It'll click, yeah. Okay.
It might only be 2 or 3 speeds, I don't know, but hey, 3 speeds, that puts it right in line with the classic Dodges.
Yeah.
But the other thing, and the most interesting thing about this, is they gave it sound.
Yes.
It's not speakers though. Like everyone heard about that and was like, "Oh, they're pumping sound out of a speaker.
Yeah.
That's gay." No, it's not.
Yeah.
There's a
Gay's fine, by the way.
Happy Pride Month.
Happy Pride Month. All.
But they got like a cool one of the cooling fans attached directly to the motor that I'm assuming cools the electric motor as it spins.
Yeah.
They have that piped through a resonance chamber built into the exhaust system.
Ah.
And they have that piped out of the back.
Yeah,
It's
so they're-
all acoustic sound.
So they're fabricating noise. They're not pumping noise
They're
through speakers.
tuning noise
Yeah.
that the car's actually making that you wouldn't be hearing otherwise.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like they're kind of making it make noise.
And I wish I could pull up the video so you could hear it, because the first go around it sounded very
So copyright. Right.
Well, I'm worried about the quality of if I just play it on my phone through the microphone.
I'm more worried about copyright.
It wouldn't get copyrighted. It's not music and it's not movie.
Depending on what you play it on.
Whatever.
As long as they don't know we're playing it off.
But the first go around, it had a very distinct.
I've seen the video though.
But they retuned it. So you see how it's in red here?
yeah.
They brought it out to another car show dressed in red, and they had tuned the sound, and it sounds a lot more muscly now.
Yeah.
Like it's you're not going to confuse it for a V8,
Yeah.
but it fits the car.
Yeah. The first video I saw, it was black.
Yeah, and it had that higher pitch ring noise to it.
Yeah.
Which I didn't hate, honestly.
Yeah, kind of vipery.
Yeah, it didn't really fit, the muscle car motif, but it was an
Right.
interesting noise. And since I know how they generate it, I was very interested in it compared to like Borla makes an exhaust for the Mach-E.
Yeah.
It's a speaker,
Yeah.
and it sounds like a V8, which is the
That's
dumbest thing I've
interesting.
ever heard.
Do you think that Borla actually manufactures that, or do you think they're
Yes,
just like?
no, it's Borla. They are selling this.
Well, I know they're selling it, but like they do exhaust, they do exhaust.
Yeah.
They make metal pieces.
Yeah. So
So,
they
like,
probably
now
bought.
they
They probably bought a speaker.
There we go.
And
Yeah.
a computer that
So I wonder
plugs
who
into, like,
really makes it
the
that
throttle
Borla put their name
and
on.
plays a recorded V8 noise.
Yeah.
That is the dumbest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah.
You have an electric car. Embrace it.
Yeah.
It's an electric car.
Hey man, they know.
This is how you
Borla
do that.
knows their
But This is how
market.
you do. Oh God.
Somebody, they're like, dude, I bet these fucking.
But no,
I mean, I
That's
bet
how
it
you
sells.
embrace the electric.
Yeah,
You own
agreed.
it and you do something interesting with
Yeah, agreed. That looks sweet.
it. And it looks sweet.
What is the update on this?
I haven't heard anything
Production.
about it. I'm hoping they don't do what they did with the electric Ram concept, because they rolled that out and that was a pretty cool concept. And then they announced the actual electric Ram, and it's like the F-150 Lightning, where it looks like a regular truck, but it's electric.
That's it. I have not seen that yet. Is that going to actually be in production?
No, like I said, they had the concept, and then they just, there's a concept.
Well, no. I get what you're saying. The concept's not going to be in production, but I'm just saying.
There's the production model. It's not terrible, but like this thing was kind of cool. It looks like it's completely.
I mean, it's a little futuristic. It's a little chunky to me. I'm not a huge fan. Kind of reminds me of a Hot Wheels car. I feel like everyone's just making it try to look like the Cybertruck. There it is. Yeah, everyone's trying to copy the Cybertruck.
I love this thing.
Yeah, honestly, like the more I look at it, the less I actually like it. It kind of, the whole thing is just like a trapezoid. It's like weird.
Yeah, no, it's bizarre, and it looks like it came out of a 1990s video game.
Yeah,
which is
to
why I
me,
love it. It's unapologetically ugly.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I'm actually like really not a fan, and it's gonna cost so much. I'm good.
No, they're trying to get them down to like $40,000 or $50,000.
Well, we'll see.
But I can't wait till I see these things driving down the road.
Yeah.
It's going to be hilarious.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely going to be unique.
I mean, I'll put it this way. I probably wouldn't buy one.
I would not buy
I am
one.
happy to see them on the road, though. They make me giggle.
Yeah. I would definitely buy the new Lightning, the Ford Lightning. I've been seeing a lot of them on the roads, too.
Yeah, so have I.
Yeah.
What about the Rivians?
A few of them. Like, would I buy one?
Would you own one?
I don't think so.
Yeah, in fact, getting the Lightning's a better bet.
I mean, and again, you know, this is going to come. You're about to go into a consumer review, and I'm speaking to this at a point of like, I can't afford that, and I won't buy one, and I can't buy one. But if I had to just pick monetary value all aside, I think I would. I mean, I did like that Ram. That was actually kind of sweet looking. Mm-hmm. I did. Like, if that's the actual production, I dig that. But I just love the Ford trucks.
There she is.
Yeah, that looks pretty sweet. I dig the headlights.
Yeah, it's not terrible.
Yeah,
it's a handsome truck.
Yeah, it's a very like street driven kind of truck. Where, but I'm just a sucker for like bare bones stuff, and I think that also is what the F-150 Lightning.
Yeah, it looks like an F. It's recognizably an F-150.
Yeah, just
but you definitely
changes.
want to go with the Ford, or even now you could go with when Chevy releases their electric trucks, which I think those should be very soon.
Bro, the Hummer
is
supposed
not the
to be like
not the Hummer.
Overly expensive.
The Hummer is overly expensive, but they're releasing the Sierra and the Silverado.
Yeah. Have the
electric?
Is that confirmed?
Yeah.
Oh, it says 2025 for the Ram.
Yeah, they're running a little behind.
Folks, it's gonna take some time.
That looks very different from the Silverado.
Oh God!
But the reason you would want to go
folks, don't Google it.
The reason you want to go with either GM or Ford is because they both announced that they're adopting the Tesla charger and access to the supercharger network.
And Chevy's gonna be like, "Well, fuck that."
No, GM.
Oh, GM is?
Ford was the first one, and GM announced like a week later.
Oh, good. How about Dodge?
No, not yet.
Yeah, well, they're 2025, and this truck is all saying 2024, so
yeah,
maybe
and the Lightning's already out.
Dodge is probably trying to get their shit together first before they make any like.
They gotta get that lithium mine going.
Yeah. Yeah, I hate that. It looks fucking awful. Looks terrible. Hey, speaking of Chevy doing something good though, that Colorado. Those are the new Colorado. Have you seen it?
Yeah, I've seen them.
Sick. I'd buy that.
The Colorado and the Ranger. They're not bad.
I haven't seen the new Ranger. The old Ranger, I'm not a fan of. Like the one just last year, it's too round.
It's too round. You're still not gonna like it, but
it's got a weird rake to it.
I don't know if we got it or if they're bringing it here or if they decided
the Raptor
not to.
is different.
But yeah,
I wasn't saying
Ranger
that.
Raptor.
Yeah, the Ranger Raptor's cool. Look at the regular Ranger though.
No, I know what it looks like.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, just to make it a conversation speed, like, what the fuck is that, dude?
That one looks better.
It does look
Did we not get this? Can we get this? Is that next?
Yeah, that says 2023 right there. Yeah, look at that dumb. Looks stupid. Looks like a Ford Escape. If that's coming right at you, you're like, dude, who's fucking driving this Escape? And then it turns and there's a bed on it, and you're like, the fuck? I mean, this was like a Highlander, or no, what's the Honda Ridgeline? Yeah, Honda Ridgeline. I mean, shout out to
Look at this
Honda
difference.
Ridgeline. I know. For fucking Ranger.
Oh, wait a minute.
So 2022 Ranger.
So did it go from this to this? Gay. But yeah,
Big
look
gay.
at the size difference. That's
Gay's
ridiculous.
fine. Happy Pride Month.
Yeah,
Love you
and this
all.
is what I was talking about
Love
earlier
everybody.
with like how trucks, or we were talking about this at Pennswood, but with trucks, here's a Maverick versus the old Ranger. Notice how they're the same size.
Yeah.
That's a problem.
That's a huge problem.
Like Ford shouldn't have to, or had to have introduced a whole new line to get back to that size.
Hey, remember when they had the sports track?
Oh, the sport track.
Yeah. Remember how awful that was and how like only I don't want to offend anybody.
I know what you're gonna say. Subaru drivers.
We're gonna make a pact to try not to offend anybody on this podcast. But remember how awful they did? Let's just put it that way. And then they came out with the Maverick again, and it's like,
well, no, the Maverick's selling like hotcakes.
I know those same dumbasses lined up. Like the fuck.
No, I don't have an issue with the Maverick. Honestly.
I got all problem with it.
Why?
They're just so ugly. It just
They're not
it doesn't
that bad.
Dude, it's a non-usable bed.
Well, that's an issue with most trucks nowadays. You get a crew cab.
No.
You get a crew cab
minute.
1500 truck. The bed is the same length as a K truck's bed. I looked it up down to the inch.
It's a length, not the width, not the usability, not the payload.
Yeah. You know what I need to
Bro,
do?
the size of this bed is even smaller than the K truck.
Well, yeah, I know.
And it's unusable. There's no payload. I get it if people want to buy these and they want to trick them out.
No, this is the perfect
kinda
truck
look sick
for the
with
guy who
wheels.
needs to make the occasional, or gal, who needs to make the occasional Home Depot run and just throw shit in the back.
Bro, what? What?
This would be... Is that a Maverick? This would be the perfect car for like 99% of the time. It's not too big. It's comfortable for 4 people in there.
It
And
should
if
be
you
a
need
Ranger.
to put something in... It should be a Ranger.
That's my point. Why do they need a second truck that is like also an SUV but it has a bed?
Because the Ranger's gotten too big.
It's not that big. But I saw your point when you were comparing the two. I get it. But like it's not like that big.
It's the size of a 1995 F-150.
I just don't like it.
And that goes with the Colorado
Yeah.
as well.
Well, I feel like this is probably a good spot to end it. We should probably let the comment section decide Maverick versus Ranger. But what if they came out with a Maverick Raptor?
That'd be hard, but because that's unibody.
Oh, see, I think I've rested my case. If you have a Maverick, go sell it. Go buy a Ranger. Even though I hate the Ranger, I'm telling you to go. I'm saying that I hate the Maverick more. And if you really want to listen to what I'm saying, then you should probably just go buy the Raptor.
You know what? Just go get like a 1999 Ranger and get a real truck.
Yeah. 5-speed, 4-cylinder, the way God intended. Those things last forever. They should still be kicking around out there.
Oh yeah, there are plenty of them.
Yeah.
Just go look for a fleet vehicle. Yeah, a lot of fleets use them.
Yeah. All right. Well, yeah, we'll call that. So we'll. That's yeah. How much should we have?
It's only an hour and a half.
Hour and a half. Not bad.
Yep.
All right, man. Well, this was fun and cool.
Yep. We'll see
Much
you in the
love,
next one,
folks.
you know.